Hey there, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani on this Monday afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're being joined by one of the big winners from Saturday night's UFC 249 card. Of course, you see him right over there. He's Calvin Kattar, had a huge TKO win over Jeremy Stephens. Vicious cut, vicious elbows. I mean, it was just a fantastic performance from Calvin Kattar and really turning into one of the bright young stars of the UFC. He's kind enough to join us right now. Calvin, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ariel. Thanks for having me on.
So I have to ask, obviously you're a little bruised up there. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory. It is what it is. It happened when I landed the big elbow. He kind of slipped in a right hand, broke my nose as I was landing the elbow. So got a little dirty in there. And but I trade my rook for the queen any day of the week.
So you do in fact have a broken nose.
Yeah. I mean, it's been broke before, but I think this time I gotta go get it a little like
Right.
something like
Surgery?
that. I don't know. Honestly, still, I don't know. I don't think so. Hopefully not. But we'll see. I gotta go see the doctor probably today.
Okay. And of course you're probably back home in Massachusetts right now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Good to be back home. It was a little tough breathing through that face mask on the plane.
I can imagine. That's right. You have to wear it the entire time.
Yeah.
Before we get to the actual fight itself, you've been in this game a while. How would you describe fight week over there in Jacksonville? Was that one of the more unique ones, if not the most unique one of your career?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It was nice to have your own locker room space though, warming up. But the procedure, how they grabbed us, brought us in, did what they had to do, and we had about 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour to get ready. It was kind of just like it was like like it was just a fluid process from start to finish. Where everyone, it's different groups of guys going in, and so that part was pretty interesting. I entered the locker room, and Pettis was in there. He dipped out. He went to fight, and then it was me, and then Cejudo came in next. It was just kind of turnkey process from start to finish throughout the whole night
Did you get your hands wrapped at the arena or at the hotel?
at the arena. At the
Oh,
arena.
so you're what I understood was like there was like a holding room where you guys were at the hotel, and then they tell you when to go, and then when you go, that's when you get wrapped. You do USADA, right? And
Yeah,
then
well, if they were gonna test you, they test you as soon as you get to the building. So I held off on that because I've gotten that curveball plenty of times, and probably don't have too much time to, if you go to the bathroom before you get to the venue, to dilly dally to get a new batch up before you go out and fight.
right.
Especially as you start kind of not limiting fluids, but you're not really water gouging like you've been and stuff. So um, yeah, we got wrapped up at the venue at the hotel because we all had our own locker rooms, which was kind of nice. We all had our own locker rooms. We were able to leave your stuff in there throughout the week, which is kind of convenient. And then we all had our own personal body sauna, which everyone's saying, "Oh, it's tough to make weight." Steven's missing weight, and I'm like, man, we had our own brand new personalized saunas. We had our own weight cut room. Whatever. But yeah, so we had met up in the locker room, and then when they call you, it's pretty much going to be go time. So we got to the venue. We just did a quick warm up after getting our hands wrapped, and it was just kind of high pace right into the fight.
And so when you're at the arena and you don't have your usual amount of time prepared, did you feel like it was a little too rushed, or did you kind of like the fact that you weren't sitting around and waiting too long?
I try to just focus on the positive. I respond well to it. It's like, all right, are you ready to the blue corner? Well, I'm not gonna like get in my head about the negatives. If I'm the first one out, then I'm gonna like my energy levels are gonna suppress a little bit. And this guy that comes out and last, and he's kind of amped up, ready to go. Or, like all those little things. I look at it like, all right, if I go out first, I got a chance to settle in. If I go out last, all right, I'm a little bit more ready to go. Like I just try to take the positives from it, and I'm not going to dwell on any negatives, especially right now. You can probably dwell on a lot if you want, especially how things have been handled as far as, this is my third time supposed to fight Jeremy Stephens, and then all of a sudden going through the pandemic, getting pushed back, and then him missing weight, all the just the crap that builds up. You could focus on it, or you could just roll with it, adjust, and then figure it all out later when it settles. But the drive to the venue was I'd say one of the most eerie drives. It wasn't like a car. It was a short ride, but there was no one in the street. It was just driving. It was kind of eerie all week. There was no cars. There was not like a ton of people. And but yeah, I knew it all make for a good story on the other side, you know.
That's right. Yeah, very memorable. So, okay, so now I want to pause the actual fight night talking. Go back to Friday, when you found out that he was 4.5 pounds over. What was your initial reaction?
Why'd you take off your boxers? You're 5 pounds. What are the boxers gonna do, man? Let alone you're the first one on the scale. It's just like, it just bothers me, you know. Like, why are you gonna be the first one on the scale and you're that much overweight and you're taking off your boxers? Sounds like all like to act to me, and really kind of pissed me off. I wanted to voice that, but I'm like, man, just keep the chips, save it all for fight night, and then post fight, he got up, shook my hand, said, you know, good fight, this that. So tough to not bury the hatchet after a guy does that. But yeah, definitely frustrating on the side of weigh-ins where, you know, for me personally, I just don't get it. I think he quit long before fight night, and then all I had to do was give him a reason to quit. You know, on fight night.
Was there ever any doubt that this fight wouldn't happen? Like, did you consider not taking it when he was 4.5 pounds over?
No, man, I've been just full steam ahead now for a long time. There was nothing that wasn't going to stop me from competing, and you know, we had the world's attention, so it's a big opportunity. And you know, at the same time, given the weight issue, he showed up. You can't expect too much from these guys, man. But I'll take it if you just show up. Next time, just try to make weight.
I understand there was some negotiation. You wanted 4 first, he wanted 30, and you eventually settled on 30. Were you disappointed about that?
I mean, yeah, short money, but it's the principle. You know, there's just a whole bunch of little shady ways the way it kind of all went down as far as person things, and try not to get too involved in that because I do got the fight coming up the next day. I let my manager deal with all that, but I think somewhere in the middle, about 35 would have made sense. You know, 30 standard for 3 pounds, and then this was 4.5. It was a little egregious. You know, 35 might have made more sense, but they were hell bent on you know, being at 30 or else they're not fighting. And I'm like, so you're gonna come in 5 pounds overweight and start dictating, or you know, it's like, whatever, man. Just I want to get comfortable. You know, whatever makes you comfortable. 30%, fine. I'm not gonna do all this work to have it taken out for me at the last possible moment. You know, I'm not looking for ways out of there.
Hmm. Did you ever get any sort of clarification as to why he showed up so early to the weigh-ins and not, you know, at least try to cut till the end?
In my head, he probably just realized it was he. That's what I'm saying. I think he probably had confirmed the night before he wasn't making weight at the earliest, you know,
Right.
or latest even, whatever. But I knew he was definitely at that point he was checked out. You know, he wasn't trying to make weight. So the best thing you could do is show up. I first get in there. I got there right at the 9 a.m. I always try to get in there kind of early, and he's already sitting down drinking fluids. I'm like, oh, that was pretty quick. I thought it might have been a little tougher for him. You know, and I've been saying that all you know, leading into the fight for not really everybody, but more so, you know, I know how I respond to this. I dig deeper, and I know these guys, man. You know, some people, they might want to, you know, I don't know, let their weight get a little out of hand and feed into the pandemic and all the, you know, some people respond differently. And I was curious how other people's weights were going to be, you know. So I kind of predicted this a little bit in my head, thinking about, you know, that he would show up overweight. When he did it, it was still like, damn, like it wasn't too surprising, but I was like, 5, man, like 5 pounds. But yeah, man, we just rolled with it. It worked out, and to fight, yeah, to fight, you know, to get a win over Jeremy Stevens, especially after the 5-pound blunder, and considering the guys above me that have competed against him didn't get it in that fashion, was a job well done. And but now it's on to the next.
And so after the weigh-ins, you guys were told that you had to take a second swab test. It's not very fun from what I've seen. What was your reaction to that? That because I was told that you guys were told that you only had to do it once, and then after you cut weight, you have to do it again. How did
You
that
ever
go down?
you ever cut a whole bunch of weight and then try to put a whole bunch on, and someone try to stick something down your throat?
Not fun.
No, man. I was like, damn, it just how much you gotta roll with. You know, just yeah, it wasn't enjoyable. Those things go pretty deep, and then they give you another 5-second countdown. these damn 5-second countdowns, man, doesn't lead to good.
But then you eventually got the result. It was a weird thing because you guys didn't get the results from the first test, but then you got him back from the second test, and that's when Jacare found out. When you found out about his test, was there some concern there? Were you guys worried that it might get called off?
Yeah, you of course you're kind of a little worried that how things are going to handled. You know, we actually even had one of my coaches test positive for the antibodies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he had it in the past, and they were waiting. They had him, they gave him his own hotel and set him up, and we hadn't seen him all week. And then finally, he got his test results back. I want to say the day before or something like that, and he was able to join us again, knowing that he had passed it. He didn't have negative testing.
Wow.
Yeah. So then when Jacare, hold on, decline. My little brother's calling me in, bro. I'm sorry.
No worries.
It's been, but yeah, when he was clear, we were all good because we were going to try to sneak in a third corner, but then we didn't know how that was going to work out with testing as well for him, and it was tough, man. Plus, we're the first show to kick going, and as you'd imagine, I'm sure the process will tighten up over the course of this week for their Wednesday and Saturday events. I would assume,
And so when you find out you're fighting, you're there at the arena. There's no fans there. Were you fazed by that at all? Did you feel like it was weird? Or on TV, it didn't really seem weird at all. But actually being in an empty arena, what was that like?
The weirdest part was definitely what everyone's mentioned as far as the commentators. Listen,
You can hear them too?
Oh, it was funny, man. At one point, I was right next to that corner where they were, and I landed. I want to say it probably was a leg kick or a shot, some kind of shot. I believe it was a leg kick though, and it was DC or Rogan saying, "Ooh, he hit Stevens with a good shot there, and he just eats it." And then we kind of were just looking at each other. It's weird when you got someone doing the commentating and you're actually fighting them. Because I was like, all right, well, I was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And I was like, he's definitely going to try to hit me with something back right now because these guys are hyping it. You know what I mean? Anytime you're in the gym, someone hits you a good shot and it was like, oh, you're like, oh, I'm going to get this back, So I was waiting for it, and it's just kind of funny listening to the play-by-play while you're actually doing it, and then hearing your corners. It was just a lot kind of going on like that, and at the same time, you weren't listening to the crazy crowd cheering, but it would have really been special, man, to hear that crowd because you visualize that when you sign the fight. For me personally, I'm a cage climber. I get a stoppage. I want to climb that crowd, and I want to climb that cage and look out to the crowd and just take that in because that's a moment, man. Like it was unbelievable. So I felt like it would have been nice to have had that on fight night, but knowing that people at home were all over the world jumping out of their seats at home is just as comforting. And I was able to watch a lot of video post fight, which was cool, but it was like, where's the kaboom,
Yeah. But you did get the fight. And it did seem like I saw that moment when he came up to you after and you were still fired up.
Yeah.
You just want, it's a weird thing. Cause you're like, oh, that was a nice thing that he did. But also I'm not really happy.
I was going to talk a lot more. And I'm talking, but what the 5 pounds, first something. It would have been something else if it wasn't the first on the scale rehydrating, things like that, the little things. And then if it was maybe met me in the middle on the purse, whatever. All things that at the end of the day don't mean now, but it just bothered me in the time. And like I said, now we move on from it. But to have him come up, shake my hand, say, something, I'm like, all right, still gonna mention that this is, but it's buried now. We're on, we're past it. It is what it is.
What a finish though. I mean, the elbows and the cut and just your boxing, you looked phenomenal. Would you say that was one of your best performances in the UFC?
I say it was up there. Honestly, no. Actually, it was one of my best finishes. I fought like
really?
I felt like it was a good finish. I caught him with a big elbow. I felt like Chael had a decent breakdown of it. I saw that video he did, and it was somewhat spot on with as far as like the analyzing and calculating things he was doing and stuff. But you can't really do that too long in a 3-round fight. It's tough. And I felt like I did that a little with Zabit, but I wasn't busy enough. I felt like Jeremy does enough to make you kind of exchange a little something with him, and that kind of woke me up a little bit. And then just kind of getting a little bit busier with the combos and starting to plant our ground and sink on our shots a little bit in the second round, like DC was saying. Those things started happening, and then I felt them kind of just really sitting down in that in close quarters. And right before that, I was kind of smothering my shots, coming in a little too much. So I changed up the weaponry to something nice and tight, and a big shot landed. But no, look at me, man. This didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you got to take damage. But like I said, I'll exchange a rook for a queen any day of the week. And if that's what it takes to get the job done, I'm not afraid to get down and dirty to do that. And it was definitely a big win. And I'm excited for what's next.
Anyone in particular come to mind as far as what's next?
Not really. Just something top 5, ideally. I'd like to say that, I'd like to say I earned myself somewhere up there. I believe I finished them better than maybe Frankie or Yar did, so maybe somewhere up there where I could settle in. But really, any of those guys, honestly, are all great matchups and tough fights. And that's where I want to be. I want to be competing against the best guys in the world, see where I stack up and prove why I belong at the top of the division. But, maybe something like a Ultimate Fighter, coaching would be freaking dope. I love something like that. But just more big moment opportunities, honestly. Like I said about Russia, I just want to earn more big moment opportunities. And this time I got to go and capitalize like I did Saturday night.
Huge win, man. Congratulations on the win. Love the sweater, by the way, the Irish Mickey Ward sweatshirt over there.
Saw that, man. And to tell you the truth, he sent me this all out. I didn't get it till I got home. But he said, I'm going to send you a care package. And my mother sent me a picture. He wrote a nice note because he used to coach me back in the day.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was my coach for a while. And so he was saying, let it all go. And I'm like, man, that's because in the Zabit fight, I tell you, I came back from Russia healthy as could be. My body's all healthy, but that hurt. It's frustrating. Just because I didn't let it all go, kind of deal. And I'd rather be, broken nose with a win than healthy with a loss.
Yeah.
And he said, let it all go. I felt like we were able to do that last Saturday. Just let it all go, man, and live with no regrets. And however it goes, it goes. So. Yeah, shout out to Mickey Ward, man, for the awesome advice and the dope gear.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very proud of you. You definitely let it all go. You let it all go there. That was incredible. So enjoy and congrats on getting extra 30%. Of the purse. I'm sure that now I know you were upset about it, but I'm sure that makes you feel a little better. You got a little more money in your pocket after it's all said and done.
Yeah, we'll take it, man. Thank you. Hopefully we'll work on one of them bonuses soon, man. I got 4 finishes in my last 5 fights. I'm chasing 1, man.
Yeah, I thought you were a good candidate for this one, but nevertheless, you'll take the win. You'll take the extra money. Congrats on the big win and a phenomenal performance. I know you said you weren't all that happy with it overall, but the finish was just tremendous. So thanks for doing this, my man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ariel. Have a good one, brother.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.